holiday shopping sees major growth, but there are signs of a slowdown this Cyber Monday. And in sports, Ohio football prepares for a trip to the MAC championship game. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Victoria Niemsch. Welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. Two teens are in custody following a stabbing that happened early this morning in Portsmouth. The 14 and 16-year-old have been arrested and charged with murder, according to the Scioto County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff David Thoroman stated that his office received a 911 call just after 1 a.m. from a male stating his friend had just been stabbed. Deputies, detectives, and emergency crew found 18-year-old Jason Stephen McGraw lying on the ground when they arrived at 2nd Street in Portsmouth. The sheriff says the two minors ran from the scene but were located and arrested for murder. McGraw was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead from a stab wound. Sheriff Thoroman reports that more charges could be filed and that this is an ongoing investigation. A Huntington woman is facing child neglect and drug charges after detectives report finding her child inside a hotel room with drugs within reach and in plain sight. According to court documents, officers responded to a hotel on Kinetic Drive following a disturbance call. Hotel staff told law enforcement that Cassandra Mitchell had an outstanding balance once they arrived. Mitchell's son was found along with around 6 grams of a white substance, 10 Xanax pills, and several sets of digital scales inside the room. Most of the suspected drugs were found in plain sight within easy reach of the child, according to the criminal complaints. Officers reported that Mitchell had $1,600 in her possession when arrested. Two suspects are in the hospital after a police chase in Nelsonville. Nelsonville police were dispatched to Brook Oak Boulevard after reports of two men stealing from a vehicle. Police say the pair attempted to get away by car from officers upon their arrival. The suspects, while fleeing, crashed into a tree near the Church of Nazarene on State Route 1691. Both suspects are admitted to stealing a JBL speaker out of the victim's vehicle. Both suspects were transported to a local hospital by emergency services. 4 people are in the hospital after a car falls off Interstate 77 in Charleston. Charleston police says a family of 4 was heading south on I-77 when the driver entered the curve at the I-77-I-64 split. Police then say the driver lost control and struck a cement barrier wall before the car fell off the interstate just before 10 a.m. yesterday. All 4 passengers are currently being treated at Charleston area hospitals, with one facing life-threatening injuries. The crash is being investigated by the Charleston Police Department Crash Investigation Unit.
Hello, I'm your forecaster tonight, Isabel Isco, and as you can see, today we've definitely been in those gloomier temperatures. Definitely looking a little gloomy with those mostly cloudy skies. That temperature high has hit about 48, pretty generally what we're known for here in Ohio during the fall. That temperature low, about 35, definitely going to be hitting us later tonight. Throughout the rest of the region right now the Athens at 45. As we go a little bit more south, Huntington, Charleston, Parkersburg, looking a little bit warmer in about the Huntington region, going more south. And as we go more north, definitely looking a little cooler. Columbus at about 41 right now. As you can see right now, we're looking pretty good, but tomorrow night, that's when we're going to get hit. Tomorrow night, we're going to get hit with those rain chances. It's going to look a lot more serious, but I'll go more into that as for my full weather. As you can see, those mostly cloudy skies are sticking around tomorrow. Those showers hitting mostly on Wednesday and Thursday, looking a lot cooler. We'll go more into that in my full weather later on tonight. Back to you, Victoria.
Thanks, Isabel. The U.S. Senate is expected today to hold a vote on a bill that would codify protections for same-sex and interracial marriages. Currently, the Senate is voting on a motion to invoke cloture, ending debate on the bill in the legislative body. The Respect for Marriage Act has gained momentum with the help of Ohio's 2 U.S. senators. The act would require every state to acknowledge marriages from any other state and repeal the Federal Defense of Marriage Act, which allowed states to decline to recognize same-sex marriages. The act has support from Republican U.S. Senator Rob Portman and Democratic U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown. Brown believes the proposal could reach President Joe Biden's desk by the end of the month. Lawmakers are considering a request from nursing homes for increased funding from the state's federal COVID money. Nursing homes are asking the state for $600 million to help offset cost increases to staffing. Pete Von Runkel, the Ohio Health Care Association's executive director, says nursing facilities statewide need the additional $600 million to stay afloat as the cost of staffing and care increase. During the past year, nursing homes contributed nearly $1.5 million in campaign contributions, mostly to Republicans who now have control of state government. When we come back, U.S. health officials are saying the zero COVID policy probably won't stop the spread of the virus. Plus, how the holidays may affect your health. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
We are experiencing a DNA testing revolution. It's reuniting families, sparking new connections, and giving us access to life-changing health information that will transform our world. I'm Diane Southard, and I've been a genetic genealogist for over 20 years. Join me to see how DNA testing will change your life in Your DNA Secrets Revealed.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
The music of Kenny Rogers has touched millions worldwide. And in 2017, a superstar lineup took the stage in Nashville. It's an incredible tribute to a musical legend. Kenny Rogers Farewell Concert Celebration.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
Here's what's new this month with Passport.
Once money's involved, people can get very greedy.
I took every possible step to find you.
These and all your favorite shows are available with Passport on the PBS app. Download it today.
Join country music superstar Reba McEntire in concert at the historic Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, performing songs from her first gospel album with special guests, the Isaacs, Kelly Clarkson, Trisha Yearwood, and me, your host, Bill Gaither. Reba McEntire, My Chains Are Gone.
Thursday at 8 on WOUB.
Welcome back. West Virginia and Ohio continue to see a decrease in COVID trends as the holidays approach. The Ohio Department of Health last reported just over 9,000 cases in the state. That is a 2,000 case difference between the beginning of the month. Morgan County in Ohio is reporting the highest number of cases with 42 new cases. Athens County saw a slight decrease from 98 to 94 cases. Washington County rose from 63 to 73. And Noble County remained toward the bottom. As for West Virginia, there are no new reports of COVID-related death in the entire state. The state reports over 850 new cases in the state. Thousands of demonstrators in China are calling for an end to the zero COVID policy. The protests that have been happening are unprecedented in recent history. It's an approach top U.S. health officials have criticized. Amy Kiley reports.
The zero COVID policy has been a disaster, both economically and politically inside China.
Top U.S. health officials add it probably won't stop the spread of COVID-19. That's as thousands of demonstrators across China risk the regime's wrath to protest its pandemic strategy. Some are calling for Chinese President Xi Jinping to step down.
These dictators, unfortunately, have pretty sophisticated means of remaining in power.
The demonstrators say they oppose China's repeat lockdowns and strict quarantines. This man is urging even more people to take a stand.
I think it's going to be very, very difficult for China to be able to contain this through their zero COVID strategy.
Chinese state media disputed that in a newspaper editorial Sunday. It called the zero COVID approach scientifically effective. But the country has reported an increase in new COVID-19 cases for 6 days straight.
They went into a prolonged lockdown without any seeming purpose or end game to it, which really doesn't make public health sense.
Dr. Anthony Fauci calls China's vaccination plan baffling. He says it doesn't focus on vulnerable populations or use the most effective vaccines.
I would recommend that they pursue the strategy of making sure everybody gets vaccinated, particularly their elderly.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
With travel in the U.S. beginning to ramp up, the risk of spreading illnesses grows. This Thanksgiving, Americans traveled at pre-pandemic levels, and the rest of the holiday season can expect to see the same. Mike Valerio looks at a potential spread of COVID and RSV as we approach December.
The holiday season is in full swing and people are hitting the roads and skies at nearly pre-pandemic numbers. At the same time, a triple threat of viruses looms. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, in particular, is causing major concerns for children. And according to Dr. Anthony Fauci, it's at a critical point, approaching an emergency.
In some regions of the country, we're seeing that the hospital system for pediatrics are at the point of almost being overwhelmed. When you have very little wiggle room of intensive care beds, when you have like almost all the intensive care beds that are occupied.
With the trifecta of COVID, flu, and RSV circulating right now, Dr. Fauci says protecting yourself this holiday season begins with your vaccination status.
We have 2 of the 3 of the trifecta. We have vaccinations for clearly COVID, particularly with the updated boosters that are now available. We have vaccinations for influenza.
Medical experts suggest that if you're going to be getting together with others, go back to the basics and use common sense. Stay up to date on vaccines, wash your hands, and wear a mask around others if you're in the vulnerable category. Suggest everybody take a quick COVID test also before getting together. One silver lining, though, other countries have already seen their flu and RSV numbers peak early and start to come down.
We're hoping that that's going to happen because both flu and RSV have come to us earlier than it usually does.
In Los Angeles, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Why Americans seem to be opening up their wallets this holiday shopping season, at least for the early sales. That story is still ahead.
And for weather, yeah, as you can see, we're in the calm right before the storm. From the west, it's coming towards us, and we'll get back to you on that in my full forecast. In the meantime, check us out on YouTube, Instagram, and on our Twitter.
The music of Kenny Rogers has touched millions worldwide. And in 2017, a superstar lineup took the stage in Nashville. It's an incredible tribute to a musical legend. Kenny Rogers Farewell Concert Celebration.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
They gathered to celebrate him and his music. His friends and family took the stage at the Royal Albert Hall in London for a once-in-a-lifetime performance in honor of George Harrison, featuring Eric Clapton, Jeff Lynne, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Tom Petty, Billy Preston, and Danny Harrison. Concert for George.
Tuesday at 9:30 on WOUB.
We are experiencing a DNA testing revolution. It's reuniting families, sparking new connections, and giving us access to life-changing health information that will transform our world. I'm Diane Southard, and I've been a genetic genealogist for over 20 years. Join me to see how DNA testing will change your life in your DNA Secrets Revealed.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
Can you all live the ultimate retirement? You can.
Acclaimed personal finance expert Susie Orman provides essential advice to make your retirement more successful and secure.
Every little action that you take can make a tremendous difference. It's never too soon to begin. Fear no more.
Susie Orman's Ultimate Retirement Guide.
Thursday at 9:30 on WOUB.
Welcome back. As I said, that calm before the storm. Right now, they're getting hit. Expect that later in our week. But for right now, we're looking at Athens about 45 degrees, looking generally in those mid to low 40s for our southeast region. Today, we had those high temperatures of about 48, mostly cloudy. Definitely was very fall-like for us. Definitely generally those normal fall temperatures like we're used to here in Ohio. Going into tonight, make sure you do, if you are going out, bundle up a little bit. Definitely on those normal fall temperatures, those mid-35, that mid-35 is going to definitely feel a lot chillier out there with those mostly cloudy skies. Going into tomorrow, stick with those mostly cloudy skies. We're definitely feeling a little gloomy right now. The high is a little bit warmer. I'll tell you why soon. Definitely hitting at about 58. That low a little bit warmer than today, that low of 45. Those warmer temperatures are coming in tomorrow night because of this warm front that's pushing up. As you can see, that rain's hitting from both sides, from the west and from the south. We're going to be getting hit starting tomorrow night. We're going to be getting some rain coming in there. Tomorrow, all of Ohio is going to be getting hit with that rain. That red, bad. That's where it's going to be getting hit the worst. We're getting those definitely going to be rainy for us. Well, definitely going to be rainy for us, but not as bad as it's going to be down here. Going into Wednesday, that is whenever we're going to be getting hit the hardest. That warm weather, this front, that warmness is coming out. We're going to get hit with this cold front. Going to be a lot chillier. Those yellows were definitely going to be a little bit harder for the rain, but definitely not as intense as we're going to be getting hit down here. As you can see, those showers are definitely going to be hitting us more Wednesday. Tomorrow, as I said, those high of 58, that low of 45. Wednesday, seeming pretty consistent with those temperatures, high of 56, that low, look at that, 22. That cold front's going to be sticking around and making it definitely more chilly for us for our Thursday with that high of only about 38, that low of 22. Looking more into the 7-day as we get hit that Friday, looking a little bit warmer, going to have that low of 39, that high of 51. Saturday, we're looking a little rainy, 56 for the high, that low of 29. Sunday, there is that chance of snow showers, so definitely going to be a little bit more winter-like for us, that high of 48, that low of 34. And Monday, we might be looking into some more showers. For more on that, definitely stick with us for the rest of the week. Back to you, Victoria.
Thank you, Isabel. A major storm system is wreaking havoc on airports across the nation as holiday travel begins. Isabel Rosales takes a look at the storm system threatening more than 25 million Americans.
The Storm Prediction Center sounding the alarm on a significant severe weather event.
Indication here is a level 4 on a scale of 1 to 5, and damaging winds, large hail are the primary threats, but there is an elevated risk here for tornadoes as well.
It especially threatens 1.5 million people across the lower Mississippi River Valley. Significant tornado outbreaks expected late afternoon on Tuesday, with dangerous nocturnal tornadoes possible as people sleep. From storm systems to snowfall.
It's going to be very, very dangerous.
Reduced visibility and hazardous driving conditions in Washington.
The roads are getting pretty bad.
As snow spreads across the Mountain West and into the Midwest. All as Americans take to the skies in pandemic-era record numbers.
It's great.
It was
very
so
smooth.
great.
Yeah, just come in early.
It was so shocking.
The TSA reports more than 2.5 million people were screened at airports Sunday. Despite the crowds, airlines avoided the problems that plagued them during the summer. Just a few dozen cancellations Sunday, compared to more than 50,000 flight cancellations over several months.
It's actually been a pretty smooth experience so far. So yeah, it's been a lot easier than last year, I think.
But not smooth for all. Poor weather conditions forcing thousands of flight delays.
Not as glamorous as it used to be, but it's worth it. You get to spend time with your family.
With the busy holiday travel season not yet over, travelers across the country keeping a close watch on the weather. I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
AAA predicts 54.6 million people will travel 50 miles or more from home this holiday season. Americans seem to be opening up their wallets this holiday shopping season, at least for the early sales. Black Friday online sales hit just over $9.1 billion this year. Officials say it's an all-time high, despite recent economic concerns, including rising inflation. Sales were strong for items like electronics and exercise equipment, but the record-breaking total was helped by higher prices. Analysts also predict strong numbers for Cyber Monday, which is underway now. The National Retail Federation projects overall holiday sales will increase by 8% in 2022. With Black Friday sales hitting new highs, some fear this could signal an end to Cyber Monday. Jen Sullivan has a look at why Cyber Monday could be losing its luster.
Despite higher prices and rising interest rates, online holiday shopping is seeing major growth, but there are signs of a slowdown.
The online piece has slowed a bit, and we'll see a resurgence in consumers back in stores this holiday season in ways we haven't seen for the 2 or 3 years.
The NRF estimates Americans will still spend in record numbers this season. But according to Adobe Analytics, customers in the first 3 weeks of this month spent $64.5 billion online. That's only a tiny 0.1% gain from last year, with their data also showing that discounts only get deeper in the run-up to Cyber Monday, with some experts saying as more people shop early, it could make Cyber Monday less relevant in the future.
Retailers have really responded by moving those deals and promotions up earlier to give people more time.
The National Retail Federation says their data shows shoppers started their holiday shopping as early as September, suggesting they're more budget conscious and are not waiting until Cyber Monday or beyond to find deals.
Particularly right now with inflation top of mind, consumers are looking to spread out some of that spending.
But other signs of an online shopping slowdown are also emerging, with Amazon forecasting fourth quarter sales below analysts' expectations. Meanwhile, the president of e-commerce website Shopify says he's very optimistic about sales on this platform this season.
We were already seeing numbers slightly up from last year.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Coming up in sports, we are 5 days away from Ohio versus Toledo in the MAC championship game. Hear from head coach Tim Allen about how his Bobcats are preparing for the matchup.
They gathered to celebrate him and his music. His friends and family took the stage at the Royal Albert Hall in London for a once-in-a-lifetime performance in honor of George Harrison, featuring Eric Clapton, Jeff Lynne, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Tom Petty, Billy Preston, and Danny Harrison. Concert for George.
Tuesday at 9:30 on WOUB.
The Musician's Green Book, a night of storytelling and performances by some of the premier names in music.
If we're going to talk about the Green Book, I've lived it.
Whose lives and careers were shaped by the days of segregation and the original Green Book.
The Green Book was the Bible for black musicians.
Monday at 9:30 on WOUB.
Join country music superstar Reba McEntire in concert at the historic Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, performing songs from her first gospel album with special guests, the Isaacs, Kelly Clarkson, Trisha Yearwood, and me, your host, Bill Gaither. Reba McEntire, My Chains Are Gone.
Thursday at 8 on WOUB.
Can you all live the ultimate retirement? You can.
Acclaimed personal finance expert Susie Orman provides essential advice to make your retirement more successful and secure.
Every little action that you take can make a tremendous difference. It's never too soon to begin. Fear no more.
Susie Orman's Ultimate Retirement Guide.
Thursday at 9:30 on WOUB.
Welcome back. I'm Joe Collins. Well, one Ohio football team won this weekend to clinch a spot in their conference championship, the Ohio Bobcats. The Green and White earned their spot in the MAC title game this upcoming Saturday by defending their home field, crushing the Bowling Green Falcons 38-14. Quarterback C.J. Harris in his first collegiate start was a dual threat in every sense of the word, throwing for 196 and 1 score through the air and rushing for 3 touchdowns on the ground, earning himself MAC East Offensive Player of the Week. Linebacker, I got the Key Thompson, led the Cats with 11 tackles and 1 sack, picking up MAC Defensive Player of the Week. Head coach Tim Albin talked to the media today about the team's preparation for Saturday.
Started Friday after Thanksgiving, bright and early, in preparation for the game, and had a team meeting Friday evening, and we are in full swing. I think today's Monday, so we're like back to normal. Monday's a Monday, routine.
For everything Ohio football related leading up to the game Saturday, tune in to WOUB Bobcat Showcase. Ohio men's basketball is back up to 500 this season thanks to their win Sunday afternoon against the Alabama State Hornets. The Cats came out flying from deep, knocking down 3 triples in the first 90 seconds. Senior duo of Miles Brown and Ben Roderick combined for 5 of Ohio's 9 three-pointers in the first half as they built up an 18-point halftime lead. Bobcats maintained their big lead in the second half, coming away with a 72-58 victory and winning the Bobcat Battle tournament. Coach Steph Bowles was pleased with the energy his team brought early.
Just really challenged them to come out with more energy than Alabama State, and I thought we did. We got some defensive stops, which led to the transition buckets and the threes. Once those goes in, it's easy to be energetic when things are going well.
Senior guard Miles Brown earned himself 2 accolades this weekend for his performance in the Bobcat Battle tournament. Sunday, he earned the tournament MVP, scoring 15 points on Friday against Eastern Illinois and 18 against Alabama State. His 33 points in 2 games also gave him MAC Player of the Week honors for the first time in his career. Brown has gradually become a leader over his 4 years with Ohio, something he is humbled by and takes very seriously.
It's crazy. Looking back, I was just a freshman. It feels like yesterday, and just to be in this position now, I have a bunch of freshmen that I'm kind of leading and getting to that next step. It's just an amazing feeling, having guys look up to me, having guys trust me, and it's just an amazing feeling.
Winless no more. The Ohio women's basketball team went on the road this Saturday and picked up their first win of the season, defeating Indiana State 74-62. 4 Bobcats managed to score in double figures, with Caitlin Crow leading the way with 19 points. Felder was 1 assist and rebound shy of a triple-double, finishing with 9 each. She was second with 15 points scored as well. Bobcats are on the road twice this week, starting tomorrow when they travel to take on the Dayton Flyers. They'll head to the nation's capital Friday, face George Washington. Swinging back Victoria to the Ohio football team, they have a chance on Saturday to win their first MAC championship since 1968.
54 years is a long time. Let's hope the Bobcats can get it done.
Absolutely.
And now to Isabel for a final look at our weather.
Yes, as you can see, definitely into tonight, we're looking a little bit chilly. Definitely normal fall weather for us right now, with that overnight low of about 35. Going into tomorrow, that high of about 58, that low about 45. Definitely going to be mostly cloudy, just like today, a little bit on the gloomier side. Don't forget about that tomorrow night, going to be definitely starting that rain that's going to be coming in, giving us some warmer temperatures, but definitely that light rain's coming in. Going into that, definitely going to have those showers. And for the rest of our week, what's it going to look like?
Finally tonight, First Lady Jill Biden has chosen the theme for this year's White House Christmas celebration, and it's We the People. In a message from the 2022 White House Holiday Guide, Mrs. Biden says, despite different traditions, Americans all believe in optimism, possibility, and unity. More than 150 people volunteered their time to help with decorations. The White House's Blue Room will hold the Christmas tree, which is nearly 19 feet tall. More than 83,000 lights decorate 77 trees, displays, garlands, and wreaths across the White House. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For all of us here.
Support comes from Help Me Grow, providing home visiting, helping pregnant mothers and parents tackle the big and little challenges of being a parent. Home visiting professionals listen, answer questions, provide resources, and help parents and their babies stay happy and healthy. More at helpmegrow.org. Support comes from Buckeye Hills Regional Council, helping older